Hello everyone, in this video we are going to start the new topic, which is torsion. So far we have seen the tensile, compressive, bending type of stresses which are being applied on a particular beam. As a result of that, there were certain moments, bending moments, shear stresses which got generated in our beams or shaft. So now we are going to see the other type of the distortion through which any type of shaft can go through, and due to which the resultant movement that occurs in it is known as a twisting movement. Okay, so let us consider we have a shaft whose cross section will look like this, and this is the longitudinal view, this is its cross sectional view. Okay, so from this diagram we know that if we going to apply the torque, and you should know basically what is torque. So if torque is basically defined as the force which is being applied on any fiber of this shaft multiplied by the distance from this its center, that is CD. So that is basically known as torque. Okay, so when you are going to, and obviously it will be maximum at the outer fiber of this shaft. Okay, so when you are going to apply this torque at this outer fiber, let's say we have AB or AD, and if you are going to apply the force, and that force multiplied by this distance, that will give it a twist, and due to which a twisting moment will get induced in such type of the shaft. So we are going to do basically analysis, and we will try to find out a equation that is also known as torsional equation, which will give you the relation between all the stresses, modulus of rigidity between them. Okay, as we have seen the bending equation, similarly we will try to find out this torsional equation. Let us suppose that we have got a shaft of radius r, of length L, and torque is being applied on the outer fiber. We have got shear stress tau, and we have shear modulus of rigidity C. Okay, which is the ratio of the shear stress over shear strain, as you already know that. Okay, so let us consider that we have basically applied a shear stress on the outer fiber. As a result of that, this outer fiber twists by a certain degree of phi, and that is denoted by phi over here. And if you look at its cross sectional view, then that will be denoted by theta over here, and that outer fiber has been twisted by a distance of dd dash. And since you know that we basically indicate this strain via this denotion of phi, that is shear strain, we use the denotion phi for that, which we have seen in our first unit. So we can say basically that the shear strain which is at the outer fiber, which will be the distortion at the outer surface, that is dt dash over the length L, which is dt dash over CD. Okay, which is basically tan phi. If you look at tan phi, that is perpendicular upon base, then we will have this phi, and the shear strain will be at the outer surface will be equals to phi equals to dt dash over L. Okay, because since this CD is equals to L over here. Okay, so if we just round out the formula, then we know that this dd is equals to r theta. How this dt? Because we know that this is the solid angle, and we know that theta is equal to always dt dash over this radius. So from here we will get this dd d dash equals to r theta, then put the value in the above formula, then you will get the value of phi. Similarly, we know that modulus of rigidity is known as shear stress over shear strain, then just put the formula over here. You will get this equation of c theta over L equals to tau over r. Okay, so that the equation basically will get, and hence from that equation you can easily calculate the shear stress, which is equals to r times of c times of theta over L. Okay, so this is basically tau is basically the stress that you have calculated, which is on the outermost fiber of the shaft. So if you want to calculate the shear stress at any fiber apart from that outer fiber of the shaft, then you can also calculate. For that it is given that if you just look into this formula more deeply, then you will find that this tau is directly proportional to this radius, that is tau over r is constant. It means that if we just again break this formula, then you will find out if tau over r is constant, it means that this can be equated with q over r, where q is the stress at any fiber and r is the distance from the center of the shaft. Okay, so if we incorporate this in this formula, then we will get this formula of torsional equation. Apart from that, we also have certain assumption, as we have seen in our pure bending case. We all have again certain assumption in the derivation of that series stress, which says that the material should of the shaft should be uniform throughout, the twist along the shaft should be uniform, the shaft should be of uniform cross section throughout the year. So these are some of the assumption that has been proposed in derivation of that formula. Next, we have got the maximum torque that is transmitted by, if we are using a solid shaft. Let us consider that we have here a solid shaft and we have a particular cross sectional area of dia dr, and that is at a distance of r, and where r is the radius of the this whole solid shaft. So from this we can actually calculate the value of the torque. So if you want to calculate the value of torque, we need to know the shear force, and then if we multiply that by the area, then we can just work out on the formula of the torque. So let us go by step. So at first we will use this equation. From that equation we can easily calculate what is the stress that is being applied on this ring. Okay, so if we know the stress which is being applied on that part, and if we multiply by its area, then that will be the force is stress into area. So that is the turning force that is being applied on that part of the ring, and if we multiply that by the distance of the ring from the axis, which is this distance r, then you will easily get the value of the torque. So that is the turning moment. Okay, so the whatever the moment which is due to the turning, that we will denote here by the turning moment, and we will use this equation. Similarly, we can obtain this torque equation if we integrate for over whole section of the shaft, and we will get this equation pi over 16 pi d cube. Again, we can use the similar formula in order to calculate various types of the numerical. As we have done for the solid shaft, we will do the same again for the case of the hollow circular shaft. Every denotation will be same, and we will follow the same procedure as we have seen in this case. We will at first work out on the stress, then we will multiply that stress by the area. After that we will get turning force, multiply with by the radius, we will get the moment. Okay, then we will work out by the same way, and we will get the value of torque, as you can see here. Similarly, we can also calculate the power that has been transmitted by the shaft, which is equals to torque times of the annual speed of the shaft, and from here we can get the power that is being transmitted by the shaft if we are using for the power transmission. Okay, similarly we can move forward and look that there is another terminology though, which is known as polar modulus, and this, as we have seen the section modulus, here the polar modulus is basically defined as the ratio between the polar modulus over the r. And before going to this formula, we must go and try to understand how we can express the torque in the form of the polar moment of inertia. Okay, so if we want to obtain that equation of torsion in the form of the polar moment of inertia, then we must basically try to determine the torque in terms of that. So as we know, the torque is defined as the product of this torquing moment turning force multiplied by that r value of r, then you will get this value of torque. And if you just integrate for over all the area, that is 0 to r, then you will get the value of this total torque, and where this is the moment of inertia. And if you go on for this entire range from 0 to r, then you will get the moment of inertia about the perpendicular axis, and that is basically nothing but this is the j, that is polar moment of inertia. Okay, so from there you can just put that value j over here, and then you will get tau over j equals to t over j is equal to tau over r, and then you put that equation in this torsion equation, you will get this refined equation of torsion. Similarly, as we have seen the section modulus, we also have a polar modulus over here, where that is defined as the ratio of polar moment inertia over the radius. Again, just put these two values and you will get the same formula for the solid shaft as well as for the hollow shaft. Okay, and now we will see the last topic, which is about the stresses that we can basically calculate if we want to just work out on the formula of the basically the stresses which gets induced if we just look into the type of the principal stress and other forces. So here we will see that how basically the combination of the bending and torsion affects on the any shaft. We know that the when you are applying the torque, then there will be generation of torsion, but at the same time, due to the gravity or the inertial load, the bending will also occur in the shaft simultaneously. So if both of these bending and torsion acts on our beam simultaneously, then how that our shaft is going to behave. So in this case, we are going to just examine and calculate the principal stresses in such type of the cases. So let us see here that if T is the torque, D is the diameter of the shaft, M is the bending moment, Q is the shear stress at the point that is produced by the torque T, and if sigma is the bending stress, then we know that shear stress at any point can be given by this equation of Q equals to tau over J into R, and this is the bending equation. From here we can get the value of this sigma. So if we work out on these two formula, then we will find that for the maximum shear stress we have to satisfy this formula of tan 2 theta is equal to 2 tau upon of sigma, and we know that the maximum bending stress will occur at d by 2 and at a distance of y by 2. So just simply put these things in the above equation and you will get sigma b equals to m over I. Just substitute d by 2 over here and substitute d by 2 in this equation, then you will get sigma b and shear stress, and then put this formula in this tan of 2 theta, and then you will get tan 2 theta over t equal m. And you know that the major principal stress and minor principal stress from the previous case, you know this formula. Just what you have to do, you have to just simply substitute these thing that you have obtained of just like torque equals to 16t over pi d cube in this formula, and then you will get the major and minor principal stresses. Similarly, you will also get the maximum shear stress, which is the difference between both of them by 2. That is for the solid case. Similarly, you can also obtain the same for the hollow shaft also, and by this way we will see, we have seen that how that the bending and torsion have effect on the shaft. Okay, so now we will conclude till here, and in our next video we will see the shear stresses. Okay, thank you.